to discuss Aaron Rodgers' comments. So Aaron Rodgers, we know he has his weekly edition of popping on the Pat McAfee show, where he gives us, his thoughts on the week. I guess he does it all the time, and this time around, when discussing potentially playing in 2025, we know Aaron Rodgers. He has his moments where he's can be very, very, what's the word? Can have some very, very headline generating quotes where he, is like halfway in, halfway out. He did it year in, year out, going back to the Green Bay days where he'd give comments where he was, where he leave the door open for anything. We'll see. I'll have to talk to this, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll see how I'm feeling, blah, blah, blah. I think this is one of his more straightforward answers, in where he says, I think so, yeah. Compared to what we've heard in the past when he's been discussing about his future, this is about as more straightforward. He goes, he's planning to play in 2025. I think so, yeah. I think that's about as straightforward as I've heard a comment come from Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers said last offseason actually, that he plans, or that he hopes to play 2 or 3 or even 4 more years. 2 or 3 or 4 more years. He said that last offseason. So obviously this comment shouldn't come a great surprise, and when he was asked whether or not this 3-7 start has changed his feelings, he said not really for the negative, not really, no. He also went on to say, I'm not playing as well as I would have liked to play, for sure. The beauty in the game is it's a team game. The frustrating part is that if you're a great competitor, you hold yourself to the standard that's not unrealistic, and I haven't reached that standard this year. They are 3-7. They got completely destroyed by the Arizona Cardinal. Aaron Rodgers has not been played great this season. He's 24th of 32 qualified NFL quarterbacks in QBR, with the total QBR 52, 15 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, and he has a career low 6.4 yards per attempt. He's not had a great year by his standards, coming off that torn Achilles. Him at the ripe age of 40 years old. It's difficult. Oh, actually, I want to correct myself. Actually, regarding um, regarding the Pat McAfee show comments. No, it did not come on the Pat McAfee show. This actually came in one of his media session with the Jets. So I want to correct the mistake I made. It was not actually it was not at a on the Pat McAfee show. It was one of his, on one of his media sessions with the Jets. But what he says does not change doesn't change exactly what I'm trying to say. There's no real surprise there, and he is coming off I have a little level of sympathy in the fact that he is coming off a torn Achilles, and in my opinion, he hasn't been great this season, but he has not been god awful. To say he's been god awful, I wouldn't go that far. I thought he had some decent moments this season. That Patriots game, talking about the first Patriots game, I thought he played a really, really good football game. I thought he's had certain moments this season. Certain times he's struggled. He's thrown 7 interceptions, which is almost unheard of for Aaron Rodgers. For Aaron Rodgers to throw 7 interceptions to 10 games is Aaron Rodgers that prides himself on taking care of the football. He has a ridiculously great touchdown interception ratio. Before this season, I'm assuming the season is ruining that for a bit, and the Jets, they've stunk. They've won 1 game away. They're 1-5 away, and and the defense is not has been as great as it's been in the last couple of years. The offense can generate anything. They're getting limited to 6 points by Arizona, uh, 15 points by Pittsburgh, 17 by the Vikings, 9 by the Broncos, 19 by the Jets. They've struggled, and they've struggled to generate offense. They brought in Devontae Adams after that loss to the Buffalo Bills. That first game after Robert Saleh was fired, and they were 2-4. And at a point, and they bring in Devontae Adams, and it's just it hasn't opened up the offense since then. And maybe we were being a little bit immature to think, okay, you bring in Devontae Adams, and that immediately will completely change the scope of the Jets offense, and it just hasn't. And maybe if you're a Jets team, it's a failure. It's a failure. And is it a failure that you can allow to have one more year? I compared the situation a little bit with the Phoenix Suns and Kevin Durant, and then Kevin Durant's. They brought in Kevin Durant, and they've had a really poor season last season. But what they were able to do was they were able to, get to the off season, make the change out of coach, and they were able to turn it around, and they're getting the best out of Kevin Durant. Can the Jets do that with Aaron Rodgers? Is it a similar scenario? Can Aaron Rodgers play that level of, at that level again? Is he still at that level? Is it the Achilles? Is it his first season back with the Achilles holding him back? Maybe getting back Devontae Adams and having a full off season with him to reconnect, to get the chemistry going, for Devontae Adams to get adjusted to the offense, for there to be a proper offense instilled into this team with the new coach coming in. Can that change it up? I wouldn't be totally against that notion. If you're the Jets, you don't have any other option right now at quarterback, and I don't think that they're gonna completely, tear it down. I don't know. I think they might give it one last opportunity, but it's something that I'm interested to see what Woody Allen and Joe Douglas, who's somehow still in the still somehow the GM of the Jets despite the failures of this organization. We'll see what direction that they want to go in, but yeah, that's a very drama-filled scenario right there, and yeah, who knows what will happen? Who knows? It is a little bit of a mess. It's a really really big mess, actually, not just a little bit.